Folks, today is June 28th, 2026. Um, what I wanted to share with you today is some fun facts about an area that is of interest to all of us, which is health and fitness. But I want to approach it from a place of experience. I have been in some level of fitness activities throughout my life, playing sports earlier on, but 2010 onwards, I kind of moved into endurance sports. That's when I ran my first marathon. And from then to now, in about 15 or so years, I've done at least 30 marathon or bigger events that include Ironmans multiple times, that include ultra marathons, 50 milers, 50K, that includes some mountain climbs like Cotopaxi, Kilimanjaro, and a few others. That includes long hikes such as Pemi Loop, which is a 32-mile hike with 10,000 feet elevation gain, etc. And also multiple others such as Rim to Rim, which is in Grand Canyon and so on. The reason I mention all of this is to kind of highlight that what I'm sharing with you is coming from a place of experience and personal journey, and it's not just a thought process that I'm advancing out of thin air. About 2 years or 2.5 years ago, I organically came to this conclusion that although I wanted to continue this athletic journey, I wanted to make it more holistic. The all of the activities that I was up until then performing were very cardio centric. So whether it was Ironman, whether it was ultra marathons or marathons, most of the exertion was on the heart and legs. And in the process, the body evolves to shape itself to be most optimally organized for those activities. And not only on myself but on many other people. I'm surrounded by athletes that are into endurance sports. I felt that there was something to be desired there. So I kind of started looking at wanting to engage in athleticism that was also had a component of aesthetics also built in, because I realized that I was not going to make any impact. Did all these events, but I was not going to break any world records or anything like that. I was doing this for fun. I was doing this to stay fit, to stay functional, for some street cred, because a lot of my friends are into all of this. So I realized that I wanted to move the bar a little bit, move the goalpost for myself a little bit, so that when I am exerting as much as I was, I also wanted it to have implications on how I look and feel, and also for my longevity. It turns out that a lot of this brutal effort that we put on our legs with these ultra distance events, or long distance events, also has a potential of wearing us down a little bit. So that's where this started, a little bit of investigation. First, it basically started with this simple fact that when I thought to myself that when I was 13, 14, 16, 17, I was never aspiring to run 26 miles or 50 miles for that matter. But I wanted a good six pack. All young men want that. So I was wondering, where did that ambition go? And the fact that I was willing to put as much effort as I was putting in towards these athletic goals, could I redirect some of that and make it work for aesthetics also, and therefore also for longevity? As this journey continued, I learned that muscle mass, as you build muscle mass, also is your longevity organ. I learned that muscle mass is a glucose sink, so it minimizes or reduces the impact of diabetes or pre-diabetes. I learned that muscle mass makes you look good. I learned many other things about having, it maintains your weight. The weight fluctuation goes down if you have a good muscle mass. So a lot of just exertion that I was undertaking purely on the cardio events had an impact of progressively reducing muscle mass. And all of the workouts and the food habits that I had associated with my athletic journey were not conducive to building it back. So that's where I started this journey, and I wrote an article that got some interesting response. A lot of people thought that I was kind of on the right track with this, and they had also thought about it in their own way. But then I was wondering, why is it that people continue to exert in a certain way with these hardcore cardio events, and don't switch or don't engage with in more in more holistic fitness training. So there were two reasons I realized. One was that there is a lot of street cred and a lot of social capital that one garners by being this endurance athlete. So a lot of our circle becomes comes from there, and that had a legitimate reason for us kind of focusing on that. And then the second thing was, they really had nobody had really pointed in the fact that that this was also necessary, and therefore the education associated with a sustained effort that builds muscle strength and builds cardio and does a holistic strength training and physical training along with that was something that had not been not been nobody pushed it on people. Nobody actually not enough conversation was happening around that, let me put it that way. So I basically started this event along with a few of my friends called Dragon. The idea of Dragon was that you kind of create this event that for which, if you train for it, you are training optimally, not just for event but optimally for life. So you are building cardio, you are building muscle strength, you are building range of motion type of workouts, so that when you compete, when you end up competing for the event, you're not drained, and you have actually spent those 3, 4, 5 months to take your physicality to the next level, which will not only impact how you look and feel today, towards a much better place, but also will have longevity impact. So I looked at the workouts or exercises or markers that were necessary, and then we came up with this event called Dragon and Fire Dragon. We have executed three of these so far, and each time the number of participants have doubled. So on December 6th, 2026 is our fourth event, and we have made some marginal changes on the margins, but the event is all set to all set. It's getting organized, and I invite you guys to look into it, to participate, to talk to other people about it, because it's not just about it's not just about, it's not a unidimensional outcome that you are I've seen in the gym, there are people who are focused on the strength section of the gym, are deathly afraid of being able to get onto the cardio machines. They can't run more than 1 mile, 2 miles, right? I've seen the people who are very cardiocentric, they cannot do 5 pull-ups. So, how do we make sure that the body is a holistic organism, and how do we make sure that we train the entire body? And the fact remains that in the later years of our life, these strengths that you built into your muscles help you stay mobile, help you stave off the aging process in a very meaningful way. So this event, the Dragon event, which is the lighter of the two, so there are two versions, the Dragon and the Fire Dragon, is really made up of 3 stages. So basically, 3 groupings of exercises. So in the first grouping, which is what we call endurance grouping, you run 1 mile, then you push a sled, which is a good amount of weight, 200 pounds for men, 150 pounds for women. You push 100 meters of that. Then you come back and do rowing for 1 mile, and then do sled pulls for 100 meters. Then you do Stairmaster for 100 floors, do pull-ups, 25 pull-ups. Do you again run 1 mile and do 50 plank ups. So through all of this, what you will end up achieving is, you've tested your endurance, but you also tested some of your muscle strength. Then we move into some compound workouts that are testing your your high water mark in terms of your muscle strength. So there is a one, we only use a 45-pound bar, but because we do multiple reps of it, it really pushes you. So you do deadlifts, arm curls, squats, shoulder push-ups, etc. And then you mix that with box jumps, and followed by a push-up. So all of this is described in the literature and on the website, which is dragonfitness.com. There are videos, etc., that you can watch. And finally, we finish with the Dragon Burn Mile, which has for Dragon, which is the smaller of the two events, which is 200 meters of burpees, 200 meters of lunges, 200 meters of bear crawl, and 200 meters of farmer's carry with 50 pounds each for men, and 40 pounds each for women, like 100 pounds for men, 80 pounds for women. So this entire event structure, when you execute it end to end, should take about 3 hours for a decently for an average athlete. Somebody who's very fit probably can do it in 2.5 hours. Somebody might take a little bit longer. Then there is the Fire Dragon version of it for people who are already quite fit. And most of these functions that we are doing are double. Instead of 1 mile, you're running 2 miles. Instead of 25 pull-ups, you're doing 50 pull-ups, etc., etc., etc. So I invite you to go to www.dragonfitness.org. It is the website has all the details. We're going to start the registration process soon also, and look forward to all of you joining the journey with us. Thank you.